A little bit about for you what it was like growing up in the Bronx and your experiences playing baseball out there.
It was a great experience. They have some great programs over there. Obviously, it's not like the South where the weather's helps out with the baseball and you can play more of it. But I had a great experience. Played a lot of Little League. Played for Parkchester Little League a little bit. Then I went to Throgs Neck and played there for my 11 and 12-year-old years and on from there. And then I went to school in Lehman High School in the Bronx. And everything I did over there was great. Everybody helped me, and then they still keep track with me now and support me. I'm really thankful for that.
From what I understand, though, you played a little bit under Mickey Mantle. What was that experience like for you, and what were you able to learn from him?
Learned a lot of things. He's an ex-big leaguer who played in the league for over I don't know how many years, but he was with the Mets for a while, and I know he was up there for a while. So I got to learn a lot. Junior college is a fun experience. It's a different kind of experience, and they put us through some hard work, and you get to learn some life lessons. You get to learn some baseball skills, obviously, and it was a great experience being down there.
When it came time for you turning professional, what was the biggest either surprise or adjustment that you had to make when you first joined the Major League organization?
Playing every day. In college, you play maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Well, 3 times a week for sure on the weekends, and then maybe 1 week game. So playing every day, and then that kind of sense of having to grind through it, and your body's not going to feel 100% all the time, and not letting that affect you. That was one thing I had to learn when I first came to pro ball. And obviously the competition's is way better. You're going to face in college a Friday night guy. Here you're going to face a Friday night guy every day. So the pitching and all those kind of little things were something I had to adapt to.
Do things move I hear sometimes maybe things move faster here. Did you find that, or was it the same as baseball wherever you play?
I think as you go up in different levels, the game starts to speed up a little bit, but that's when you got to really bear down and find a way to slow it down and stay within yourself, play your game and not try to do too much. And that's what I've learned as my career's gone. And I've gone up the ranks in different levels. The game does speed up a little bit, that the competition gets better, and you got to make routine plays and things like that. So everything speeds up, but you got to find a way to slow it down and then just keep playing your game.
Being a New York guy, especially a Bronx guy, was it a balance between cheering for the Mets and the Yankees, or were you straight up one team or the other?
I was a Yankee fan growing up. Most of my family was, except my dad. My dad was the only Met fan. My friends were, I had a bunch of Met fans that were friends, but I always liked the Mets. I never hated them. You see a lot of fans that have one team and they hate the other team from that city, or they hate any team they play. But I was always, I would root for the Mets if the Yankees weren't playing. So I always had a little something in my heart for the Mets as well.
Can you say that you stylize your play after anybody in particular, or are you trying to create your own brand of game when you play out there in the field every day?
I think you have to try to create your own game, but I think there are people that I do idolize, like somebody like I used to love watching Derek Jeter play. Bernie Williams. I feel like those guys played the game the right way and just 100% all the time, and they weren't worried about giving up their body for anything for their team, and just the way they went about their business. I love to watch that. But yeah, you also want to create your own game around those, so you kind of see all the players that you idolize and that you'd like to watch play, and then you try to create your own game around that. Maybe add a bunch of things from different players, and then be yourself.
Being a Yankee fan, I'm sure it must have been an emotional time for you. When I know you said you weren't a hater of the Mets, but I'm sure you would have loved to have played for the Yankees. But I mean, just in general, what is the opportunity for you to be hopefully playing in the big leagues? What would that mean for you?
I feel so blessed to be able to play with any team. Just any opportunity that I was given. I wasn't drafted, so I thought my career would have been possibly over after college. And to get an opportunity and hopefully, be able to play in the big leagues, it's a blessing, and very thankful for the opportunity the Mets have given me, and hopefully, I can make it work.
With being undrafted, do you find yourself maybe hungrier? Or do you work harder, or are you still bringing the same hunger and drive as you do every day that you play?
Yeah. I think even if I was drafted, I think the same mentality I go about the things right now, I think I would have done the same if I was drafted. I don't think I would have changed things. But yeah, I felt like even when I was in college, that was my goal, was to give everything I had no matter what the situation was, and I was able to bring that into pro ball as well. And being undrafted, it happens, but I'm now I have the opportunity. I got to just seize it.
How did it happen? Did you just get the phone call one day from the Mets and they said, you know what, we want to give you a shot, come down to Brooklyn and let's see what we could do, type of thing? Could you share a little bit of that? You don't have to share everything, but share a little bit of it.
I got a call, I can't remember exactly how long after the draft. I know it was maybe maybe a week or maybe a couple days after the draft, and I got a call from Tommy Jackson, who's the scout, and asked me if I would like to go play for the Kingsport. I think it was the Kingsport Mets. I went there for a little bit, so I played with them for a little bit, and it was out of nowhere. I didn't know how they had maybe seen me throughout my career, in Alabama and college and stuff. So maybe that was what happened at Troy, but I had a call from him, and I absolutely was thrilled, and I had to take the opportunity.
I understand you had some time down in Brooklyn. Could you just share your experiences down there, what that was like, what that experience was like?
That was a great experience for me. I got to go later on in the season, and it was fun. It was really fun. The fan support over there was really cool, and we got a lot of fans, and the games were fun, and that's what I almost kind of like pictured minor league baseball, professional baseball, when you picture when you're in college, and it was a great atmosphere. Everybody was really nice and took us in really well, and obviously being so close to my friends and family, it was a great opportunity to get to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while. Going to school in Alabama, I wasn't able to be up there and spend time with them, so I got to see a lot of friends, a lot of family. I got to come to the games and watch me play, and I was really excited about that.
Being down in Alabama, how much of a change was that for you, going for a big city and being in such a quiet little place? I'm sure that has like some big parts too, but was it a big difference for you? Or
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was a culture shock. It's a whole other kind of lifestyle, but it grew on to me. At first, it was tough, just being from the city and never experiencing anything else. You don't know there's other things out there, so I had to learn that, and I grew to love it. I mean, I ended up I have a fiance now she lives down in Alabama, and it's awesome. And the people down there are really very nice and kind and genuine people. They bring you in and they take you in like you're one of theirs. So it was a great experience for me, and it made it a lot easier just being that they're like that down there. And I had some friends that came with me down there from New York, so it was easier for us to adapt.
How would you say that you've evolved from day one of your career to this point in time right now? Have you been working on anything? How would you say you've evolved?
Honestly, I've been working on everything. Every part of the game I can truly grow in. I feel like every year I'm trying to find something new to learn, and every time I come out here, if I can pick something up or pick someone's brains that have been in the game for a while, or one of the coaches, one of the managers, anybody, and learn something, I feel like that was a successful day. And that's how I go about my business every day. If I can find something to learn every day, that's all I can ask for. And yeah, there's been so many things I've learned throughout the course of my career right now. When you start, you don't know much. You go off the basics of what you learned in college, and you don't know much about professional baseball, so you just pick things up, and it's been a great experience so far.
How do you learn? Because some people learn by watching, some people learn by doing. Like, how do you find is the best way for you to learn?
I like to watch. I do like to watch people, and I like to pick things up and see how people go about their business. You kind of watch the people that you can tell are not only successful, but good people, and they know how to go about their business. So you watch those guys and you see how they do things, especially when you go to a big league game or something in spring training, and you just look at the older guys, see how they do things, and you don't just exactly copy them, but you just see how it is, and you see how you can make it your own. But I also, not only do I like to watch, I like to go out there and work on things as well, and whenever there's a chance for me to work on something, I'm going to take the opportunity, because I don't ever want to get comfortable playing this game, because that's when I feel like, that's when you get too comfortable, then people can pass you, and there's just not, I feel like there's no room for that, especially when you're in the minors. You got to find a way to improve and get better, and try to find a way to get up there and stay there.
When you have such Mets greats as coaches, and then when you have the guys like to see on a day like today when Mr. Duda is here, how much does that mean for you and the evolution of your game to be able to pick their minds? And
yeah, that's a huge part of your game, because those guys have been there. Those guys have watched people who have been there. They've coached people who have been there, and then, like I said, they've been there themselves, so they know how it is. They know how to get there. They found a way to do it. So to either pick their brain or watch how they do things, it's fun and exciting, because now you get to see how I'm gonna be chasing me. You get to see how they do things, and you get to see how they made it. So maybe you can use some of the things that they did, to your advantage.
As a batter, do you take any particular approach? Do you do any like meditation, or what's your approach when you first go into the box there?
Just try to be as confident and positive as you can be. It's tough in this game, because we talk about it all the time. You can do everything right and have a. You can do everything right and there will not be any numbers to show. So this game is very frustrating sometimes, and I think that's when you got to really just bear down and go up there, no matter what the deal is, no matter if you're 0 for 4 or if you're 0 for 10 or whatever your situation is. Even if when you're 4 for, go up there confident and battle, like it's your last at bat of your career, and that's how I try to go about my business and my games and my at bats. And I think that's all mental. And then obviously there's a physical part of it too, you know, getting your mechanics down and feeling good and BP and things like that.
Talk about your time here a little bit at Binghamton. How have the people been treating you? How have you been enjoying your experience? Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, Binghamton's great. Since I came up last year halfway, they've treated me great. Pilo, Louis, and Rivera was here last year. Abby's been here since both years I've been here. They've all brought me in and treated me great. They've told me things. They've done whatever I needed any help I needed. They've been there to be there for me. So they've done everything they could possibly ask for a coaching staff and for a manager. So yeah, and then I've got to meet great people like Carrillo. That's a guy I've gotten close with, and I've gotten close with a lot of guys throughout my career here. And you know, the fans as well. You know, I was really excited to bring something home for them last year, a championship, and hopefully we can do the same this year.
Playing competitive baseball, you know, especially at any level, as an athlete, what does that mean?
Say it again?
Playing competitive baseball,
yeah.
You know, winning championships.
Yeah.
Being competitive, what does that mean?
It's exciting. This is when it really counts, you know. I mean, the season's fun because you're trying to work on things, you're trying to get better, you're trying to get to the next level. Those are all awesome things, but when it comes down to playoffs, it's when baseball really gets exciting because now you really have to come together as a team, you know what I mean? And all the little selfish things, not really selfish, but the little things that are on your own, you're trying to do something number-wise, those all get thrown out the window. You know, your goals in the season all get thrown out the window. Now you have one goal as a team to come together, and like Pilo says, your at-bats are no longer yours. He told me, he said, your at-bats are no longer yours when the playoffs come around. They're the guys next to you's at-bats. You're playing for everybody else. So, you know, I took that to heart, and that's what makes it more exciting coming around this time of year.
Aside from helping the team winning championships, what are some of your personal goals?
Obviously, you know, make it to the big leagues and try to stay there as long as I can, and just that's always been my goal. I'm not gonna ever, and you know, and I don't want to just make it there. Like I want to be there for a while. I want to be able to have a successful career. I want to compete with the best, you know, and I think that's what everybody really strives for. But that's one of my true goals, and you know, just to go out there and compete every day. If I can do that for myself, then I can be okay with when baseball ends for me. I can say, hey, I gave it my all. I did whatever I could. But that's one of my goals. Pretty much just to go out there and do whatever I can every day to compete.
Lastly, I always like to have the athletes give a message to the fans at home watching this. So just any message that you'd like to give, you feel free to do it now.
Just thank you guys for all the support you guys give us. It means a lot to us, and hopefully we can bring another championship home to Binghamton and for the New York Mets organization. And thanks again for your support.
Cool, thank you.